My first drink was at age 9 at a wedding. And I remember, looking around and seeing that there were half-empty glasses of champagne. I drank that champagne, decided to go out on the dance floor, did a fancy ballet move, jumped up in the air, spun around, landed on my toes, slipped, fell flat on my face, and broke my nose.
I never got into tastes. I never got into palates and wines, and that dark beer, I didn't care about that. And it was nothing about the taste, it was just about the effect. How it made me feel. And that's not normal. That's how I started the night. 3 shots and 3 beers, real quick.
In 1998, when the retreat opened its doors, there was a dramatic increase in the cost of treatment across the country, and more people were unable to access treatment services. The retreat was developed to create a model of recovery that was affordable, accessible, and grounded in the spiritual principles of the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.
I don't know that at the point I realized I was an addict. Like the concept of being able to go home, drink all by myself, drink myself into obliteration made me incredibly happy. I have lived my life hating myself, loathing myself, feeling worthless, and never really had a moment of not feeling that at some point in my life.
It's estimated that 20 million people in this country suffer from the disease of alcoholism, and only 10% receive the help that they need.
I had my first blackout drink in 9th grade. I drank a pint and a half of vodka and went to a dance, and I functioned, but I don't remember anything of it. Actually, I thought blackouts were normal. I just thought that was part of it.
Alcoholism destroys the lives of individuals, but it's also devastating to the members of the family as well, which is why we opened our family program.
I was basically born and raised around alcoholism. My sister is an alcoholic, my brother is an alcoholic, uncle, grandfather, and they say, we codependents don't have relationships, we take hostages. And then we ultimately live the most dishonest lives because we're protecting and fixing and trying to control the humiliation that's going on with the alcoholics in our lives.
Whether you're a guest at our 30-day program or a member of our family program, the model of the retreat is the same. We surround people who want recovery with people who are living it at the highest level. And that's the magic of the retreat. It's people helping people.
And I walked into the retreat, and for the first time, there was I think a 19-year-old kid on the couch sitting next to like a 48-year-old, IV drug user. I walked in and felt fine. I felt like I was home. I wasn't better than the kid, and I wasn't worse than the junkie.
I started going to Al-Anon meetings here back in '06. Things weren't working for me at all. I just said, well, is it possible for me to go through the family program just as an individual? And they said yes. And so I went through 4 days, and it was actually a defining moment in my life. It was fabulous.
This place has got that ability to turn somebody who is really broken and really upset and just holding on by their fingernails and to learn to love themselves, through everyone else's experiences and everyone else's stories and everyone else's head nods.
I was losing my career, I was losing a marriage, and I went into Diane's office, and I just poured my guts out to her, crying. But the most fear I had was about my career. And she looked at me and she said, does your career define you? And I looked at her and I said, well, yeah, it does. And she goes, well, it doesn't to me. I mean, she just said it with such conviction, such love.
The retreat is a place of social and spiritual transformation. It is about people changing their life forever.
Like, I was not a stranger to AA, but I had, what I realized was I had never really worked the 12 steps. I say my 3rd step prayer, and I have this sense that something is coming out of me. And the visual I kept getting was this mass that was diseased. And I thought, what is this that is happening to me? And the sensation I had was that self-loathing, that peace that was on the inside of me, that had me hate myself, that had me feel that I was a worthless human being, was leaving me.
A key part of recovery is carrying the message of hope and recovery to one another. It's embodied in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and that's what it's all about at the retreat.
I've been given a gift to come back here, and I work for the retreat one day a week, and I feel like I'm at, at ground zero again. I get to take the calls of the guys that are in trouble, and they want to know about the program, and they want to learn about recovery.
I mean, I'm just very involved. I'm probably here about 3 to 4 times a week because of the community, and that is not like me.
My first job here was overnight security. And that might not sound like I'm really interactive with people, like I'm just patrolling the grounds, but in actuality, there are tons of people on their first week here. They don't sleep, and they are frustrated, and they are so vulnerable. I spent so many hours with different individuals, just talking them down.
And I think that's the beauty of service work, is when you said, Mike, it gives those horrible lives we lived purpose. Every time I tell my story and somebody nods and says, oh yeah, and you made it through it, I heal. That's just one of the miracles of the program.
Total abstinence and active involvement in Alcoholics Anonymous are by far the most effective approaches to helping people recover. When Dr. Bob, one of the co-founders of AA, was asked to describe AA in just a couple of words, he described it as love and service. When I think about the core of what the retreat is all about, it's all about love and service.
I mean, she just said it with such conviction, such love.
I'm probably here about 3 to 4 times a week because of the community.
I've been given a gift to come back here, and I work for the retreat one day a week.
I walked in and felt fine. I felt like I was home.
It gives those horrible lives we lived purpose.